Hi, it's me. Oh my god,
그대도
of
하던
course
일
he's
마저 보시게.
talking now.
피차, 서로의 목표가 중요한 법이지 않겠나.
Playing more Limbus Company. Today is June 28th. I have once again traveled through time to be able to access the update sooner, is what I will continue to say every single time I do this. Today, we have a new target extraction, and by that I mean we have two new target extractions. We have one ideal. Oh, right, there's another 61 I spent on the other. We've got, new identity target extraction, KCorp Class 3 Excision Staff Hong Lu, and Lobotomy Ego Red Sheet Sinclair. These names are going to keep getting longer. And we also have Ego Target Extraction for Red Eyes, which is exclusively used by Ryoshu. And I guess if you wanted to count it, there's a target extraction for Sinclair, which, for the record, gives people access to KCorp Sinclair again, which is amazing. So if you wanted KCorp Sinclair, that would be fantastic for you if you don't have it from Season 1. But, yeah, we have some new Sinners stuff to look at. I am going to be using this 3-star ticket today because, yeah, it's new. So I might as well, right? I'm not too concerned with saving stuff like this, but if you wanted to save it until there's an ID you liked more, I'm sorry, but that's not how it works. So, we're gonna start with the Ego, because the Ego, to me, is less important, but it is both Red Eyes and Red Eyes Open, starting with Red Eyes. I have plenty of boxes. So, we've got 2 Lust, 2 Gluttony, 1 Envy. So 5 costs, it's pretty standard for a Teth. She doesn't actually have an ID that perfectly fuels this. Both Chef Ryoshu and Kurokuma Ryoshu fuel 2 of them, and you're bound to have some gluttony, so it's not really that big of an issue. 18 to 24 is not great for a single target Ego. On hit, inflict 3 bind next turn. On hit, if target has 3+ bind, inflict 1+ coin drop. This is the second thing we get that can inflict this. The other being N Heath's skill 2. And on hit, if target speed is slower than users, inflict 2 slash fragility. Yeah, okay. Very standard. Why is this weaker than... Hold on one moment. It's the same power as Force for the Flames, which is very strange to me. It seems like it should be a little bit more powerful than that. But okay. Corrosion is a 26 to 18. On hit, inflict 3 bind. On hit, if target has 3+ bind, inflict 2+ coin drop. On hit, if target speed is slower than users, inflict 1 to 3 slash fragility. I don't know why you would ever use the Corrosion. Unless she gets like a negative coin Ego, I don't ever see this being more useful than the normal version of this skill. It just does not look preferable to want the corroded version, because plus coin drop is nice, but the variable slash fragility really annoys me. Passives on Clash Win, inflict 1 bind. This is incredibly good. It's just a really solid option to bring with, so there's nothing really bad about that. I don't know, this Ego seems pretty weak, in my opinion. It's definitely not bad, though, because it inflicts fragility, which is always amazing, and since it's next turn, you don't have to capitalize it on this turn, so you don't necessarily need a fast Ryoshu to take advantage of it. So, yeah, it's alright. Not the best thing in the world, not the worst thing in the world, we'll go with it. But Red Eyes Open is a He Ego that's 2 Wrath, 2 Lust, 3 Envy. Okay. Okay, so, for those who don't know, there are exactly 4 things that are not in the shop or the dispensary. Like, you can't pull them, no matter what. Those 4 things are the 2 chef identities and the 2 lifetime stews. This Ego is perfectly fueled by Chef Ryoshu. And the problem I have with that is that it is perfectly fueled by an identity that is not currently available. which means that people who don't have Chef Ryoshu are just kind of out of luck. The event IDs are going to come back when Season 3 starts, but that's still like 3 months from now. So that's a little disappointing. But, I mean, it's probably not that big of a deal, but this ego looks like it's going to be pretty strong. So 22 to 30 for a 3-target AoE. Honestly, that's pretty standard. Rhymeshank can roll about that high, so I'm not really too concerned about that being overpowered necessarily. Targets 3 slots if main target speed is lower than users by 3 or more, coin power plus 4. So obviously these two ego are meant to work together. On hit, if target has 3+ bind, deal 20% more damage. On hit, if this skill staggers or defeats a target, heal user and the ally with the least HP by 10% of max. Yeah, this is perfect synergy with Chef Ryoshu. So is the other one, because the only thing you need is Gluttony that isn't fueled by her, and she fuels all 3 of the ego you would have equipped. I'm a little annoyed by that, because it's basically just making any other Ryoshu not as good. Kurokuma Ryoshu is obviously still good. I don't want to, like, make that any less, but this basically just outclasses 4th Match Flame in pretty much every way. Corrosion is a 33 to 19, it looks like. Targets randomly, targets 3 slots. If the main target speed is lower than users by 3 or more, coin power plus 7. Good lord. If target has 3+ bind, deal 30% more damage. If the skill staggers, that's the same effect. Okay. So this is just a better version of it, but again, she doesn't have a negative coin ID, so the Awakening version is probably going to be more consistent. Which is fine, I don't have a problem with that. Passives, if this unit healed more than 10% of its max HP this turn, gain 1 attack power up. This isn't going to activate that often on her. Basically what this says is, if this unit activated its coin effect, gain 1 attack power up next turn, which is nice, but really doesn't matter, all things considered. It's helpful, it's not going to become something you're doing this for. You're using this just as an AoE attack, because that's what all AoE ego do. Also, this is really cheap for an AoE ego, and this fits perfectly with Shi Association stuff, so that's cool. I think I did use Chef Ryoshu in that team, so that's just perfect. Okay. Oops. Next, we have our identities, which are both season identities. First off, Red Sheet Sinclair. What is that? Okay, so before I get into this, this is potentially the best Rupture support ID you'll ever see, but that's only true if we actually get good Rupture support. Oh, it's a tank ID? What? It's a fast tank ID. No, that makes sense. That'll make sense in a second, trust. So first off, Gluttony, Pride, Lust. That's a pretty decent selection. It's the same as Kurokuma Ryoshu. In fact, I think it's exactly the same, which is fine. Pretty low growth. I'm pretty sure that the offense level isn't tied to your growth anymore, which means that it might actually matter to get up to level 35 now. I'm not sure yet. 5 to 10, which was why I was like a little weirded out, because that's an unusual roll range for a first coin. For 1 coin skill 1. Normally it's either 4 to 10 or 5 to 11. 5 to 10 is odd, but I'll take it. On hit, inflict 2 Rupture. Heads hit if target has 5+ Rupture, gain 1 Talisman. Talisman is on hit, inflict Rupture by the count. When hit, gain Rupture by the count. Turn end at 6+ count, remove all Talisman and take fixed damage by the count. Okay, so that is lower than the enemies get. Enemies can get up to 9. You want to have 5 Talisman, and you want to keep that so that you can consistently inflict a lot of Rupture. Which is fine. Every single hit is going to inflict Rupture if you have Talisman. The downside of that is every time you get hit, you will be inflicted with Rupture, which almost doesn't even matter, because if you're doing well, you're not going to get hit anyways. Skill 2. Oh! No. You did not just put a 4-13 on skill 2 again. It has been a while since we've seen this on a 2-star. I think the last one... No, I don't think we've ever had a 4/13 on a 2-star, actually. That's really good roll range for this. All 3 hits give you 1 talisman, and the last hit is on hit if target has 3+ rupture, gain 1 talisman. So the issue here is that this is your best way to gain talisman, and if you use it twice, you're already exceeding the count limit, so you are going to deal damage to yourself. But it is a lot of rupture, so I'm not sure if that's... God, I'm really tired, huh? Skill 3, that's a 5 to 17. Okay. The rolls are at least good. Rupturing Talisman. 5 to 17, Pierce. On hit, spend 5 talisman on self, give 5 talisman. On hit, if target has talisman, inflict 1 rupture count. 1? That's effectively none. Well, no, because it is the last hit, so it is effectively 1. So I guess the idea is use this after you use skill 2 and you're above 5, so that you can get rid of the excess. And then that'll inflict a lot of rupture to the enemy. I mean, honestly, these rolls are all very solid. So I don't think that this ID is going to be bad at all. It's very risk-reward, but since they gave him a decent speed, the tankiness of him actually makes sense. Defense is an 8 to 13, that's normal. On use, gain 1 talisman, who cares? Passives, 3 Gluttony Resonance, on hit if the target had a Rupture, gain 1 talisman. Oh, that's terrifying. Because that could theoretically activate an infinite number of times. There's no cap here. That's scary. And then Wishing Talisman for Resonance. At the start of the combat phase, give highest Resonance ×2 talisman to the ally with the most HP. I can see this being useful. There's no way to get rid of talisman, but being able to inflict Rupture with every hit sounds pretty decent. Especially on characters that already inflict Rupture, like 7 association ideas and stuff. This, unironically, seems like a very good 2-star. It doesn't need a lot of support to do what it needs to do. All you have to do is just make sure you don't kill yourself by having too many talismans. But 6? What's that? That's like an average of 8 damage that you're going to take from it? That's not a lot of damage with that amount of HP. This is legitimately a pretty good ID, I think. The colors are good, the rolls are good, and it inflicts a debuff that actually matters, being Rupture. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot, in fact. KCorp Class 3 Excision Staff Honglu. This is very good colors. Pride, Gluttony, Sloth is Sunshower. Holy HP! Okay, I don't know what NCorp Mersault's HP is at level 35, but this is HP. This is a tank identity. Okay. That's a little worrying. Impede the Intruder, coin power +2 to targets with 5+ Rupture. It's a 1 coin 5 to 11. It's not really that big of a deal. I mean, I guess it technically rolls as high as the strongest. 7 to 11? No, 7 to 13. Yeah, that's actually the same maximum as Mind Strike, so that's not bad. I don't know if you're ever going to have an enemy with 5+ Rupture. That's really hard to do. It's not a bad skill, though. I just wish it did something else. Skill 2, Decay Blade, 5 to 15. That's not bad at all. Inflict 2 Rupture. If target has 10+ Rupture, heal by 50% of damage dealt. When are you ever going to get to 10 Rupture? That's not enough. Like, getting Rupture count isn't easy, game. 10 Rupture is a lot. Okay, skill 3. Oh, that's a Lenticular Swirl. That's 8 to 16, 8 to 18 at 80% or more HP. Coin power +1, so 8 to 18 will be pretty common since you do not necessarily need... Like, you're not going to go below 80% if you're doing well. And this already rolls really well, too. On hit, inflict 4 Rupture. On hit, inflict Rupture count by the amount of KCorp Ampule and deal 5% damage per KCorp Ampule. This is a new status effect. I think he only gains this through his defense and his passives. Turns start at less than 4 count, heal by count times 5% of max HP at 4+ count, die. This is a very annoying status effect. Theoretically, you're healing 15% of your max HP every turn, which means this is always active, and you're inflicting 3 rupture count with this hit. But of course, if you ever gain more than that, you are just dead. So, defense is a 12 to 17 on use, gain 1 KCorp Ampule next turn. That's a very strong defend, actually. This is very nice. And it gives you the ability to gain this by will. His passives, 5 Gluttony owned, when hit if at less than 20% HP, heal by 90% of max HP and gain 1 KCorp Ampule. After this activates, gain 1 Fragile every turn for the rest of the battle, once per battle. So this can only activate once. But you have to be at less than 20% HP, so this is really a dead passive. So if you wanted to, you could just get all of your KCorp Ampules right away, and then just use Excise target anyways. Because that is a pretty high damage attack, even with low growth. High-grade Ampule, at the start of the next turn, give 2 KCorp Ampule to the ally with the lowest HP percentage. But its resonance... This seems very, very strange. This is a bad support passive. You will never run this. Thankfully, Honglu already has a good Gluttony support passive on his Ting Tang identity, which is just Rhodea's base passive, but for Gluttony. So you don't really need to worry about this. Do not ever run this. You will accidentally kill one of your team members if you're doing a heavy Gluttony setup. It's not worth it, is basically what I'm saying. Alright. Time for me to pull for them. Wish me luck. Alright, so pulling for these. I care so much more about the identities because, I can just use crates for the ego. I don't like pulling for ego. They're really annoying to get, and you can't get dupes of them, so I'm not going to pull on the banner either. Let me throw this out first, because I do not care about it. It's just another 10 pull for me, honestly. Who am I gonna get? 1 red. Awesome. Oh! Well, that was convenient. Yeah, I didn't get the other one. Okay. That's about what I expected. Thank you, Sinclair. Hello. Alright. We gotta get that Honglu. It's so much more important than any of the ego. I want to pull at least one thing. Because if I don't, then I'm running out of stuff to pull with, as you can see. Yeah. Oh, is that only... Huh. I don't know. I definitely just misread that number. Good. Good start. I'm gonna run out of free lunacy today, I feel like. Wow, it's giving me 3 2-stars each time. Come on, one more. Give me something, please. Anything, I beg of you. That's 4 2-stars. I don't need 2 stars, game. Sinclair. Oh, there's something. Oh, that's an ego. Alright, I'll take it. Which one? That's open. Sweet. I did say that this was going to be the best ego here. Should I do one more? How many free lunacy do I have? Yeah, I'll do one more. And then we'll just buy the last 2. I have a feeling nothing, right? Well, it's gonna fake me out, which I doubt. Yeah. Okay, we'll just buy the other 2 with crates. I don't mind. Ryoshu, red eyes. Yeah, no, I think these red eyes identities are going to be very strong. Or ego are going to be strong simply because Chef Ryoshu is already strong and she feels both of them. Which kind of sucks, but whatever, I'll deal with it.
눈앞의 사람들을 전부 적출해버리면 되는 거죠?
Hung loose freaking buff, dude. Alright.
해방을 위해서는 설령 저주더라도 받아들이겠어요.
A murmur faintly echoes in the room. As candlelights waver, so does the writing brush on the child's hand, imbued with red ink. The child ceaselessly writes red letters on yellow talismans. He's writing down complicated spells of wishes and curses targeted at somebodies. Could the child have learned this art of thaumaturgy? Probably not. Then, was it the group the child belongs to, the Technology Liberation Alliance, that taught him how to make talismans? That wouldn't be the case either. Perhaps he's making sheets of paper containing tremendous technology, aiding in his group's terrorist attacks. No, that simply couldn't be. What the child did was simply fight a few fights wearing the ego his group borrowed from the underground levels of an KCorp facility. However, the child does seem immersed in this craft of talismans and dark arts. Rather than putting on ego and using it as a tool, it was as though he became one with the ego, or the abnormality itself, putting the things in its mind to action as if possessed. That's right. Most ego will try to encroach on its user and corrode them. It's said that uttering someone else's words as if they're your own and copying whatever they do eventually makes you no different from that person, right? It may only be natural that using someone else's mind like a tool gradually assimilates yours into it, forgetting yourself as if it has taken it. It would be wise to have someone else take the child's ego off before it corrodes him further, but it doesn't look like the organization he belongs to will be eager to do so, considering the excellent compatibility and results he's been showing. Okay, that was pretty uneventful, story-wise, and he didn't even say anything.
투입인가요? 아, 앞으로 더 많이 부르시겠다고요? 잘 됐다. 너무 심심했거든요.
The child spent his days and nights in that glass tube. It was to keep him in the most stable state, as KCorp determined. In that coffin of glass, the child's body sleeps all the time. Until he's woken up from the outside, that is. Ah, hard work as usual, I see. The ones that came here earlier left for lunch, I presume? Have you had your meal? What did you eat today? Not interested in food talk? Then don't you ever get tired of yapping like that every day? Ah, you're looking me in the eye at last. Perhaps the researcher was taking a moment to regret pressing the button to wake the child up. Among the employees called the Excision staff in KCorp, those belonging to Class 3 spend all of their time outside deployment to missions in those glass tubes. Since Class 3 staff inject themselves with heavy doses of the ampule more often than most other employees, they're forced to live in those tubes to raise the compatibility. The ampules could decay them if its configuration is ever so slightly off. I'm just amazed you can blather on as soon as you get up. It's not just ordinary sleep, you're put in suspended animation. Well, it's something I could get used to. As they mentioned, their sleep is different from what we normally think. Their consciousness is put in a state of total suspension. Even the subconscious thoughts that change in dreams have the risk of causing decay. Yet the child doesn't seem to be affected by its after effects. He looks refreshed, rather. Haha, I can't go outside when I want to, as you know. How else can I relieve this boredom? Seriously, I have no idea how you ended up here. You'd have landed in any other department if it weren't for your ampule compatibility. I wouldn't say so. It was my grandmother who sent me here. Your grandmother? That's right. She told me to see more of the city and learn how the world goes. So basically, you got here by nepotism, right? And your grandmother is someone with power. Is Excision really the kind of job to favor, though? Instead of laughter, the child replied by making bubbles. When the researcher looked up in a hurry to see what was going on, they only found the child smiling with his eyes closed. You frightened me for a second. I just laughed because it was funny. Well, I don't know what my grandmother is thinking, and I frankly don't care. But I do think it's not bad to try this kind of work. An alarm buzzed around the wrist of the researcher who was looking at the child with mixed feelings. Here's something to clear your boredom. You're up for a deployment. Aha! I knew it! The child took little time to arrive at the location where the order was made. Alright, I'll commence the excision now. Spinning his weapon around, the child rushed at his enemy. For someone who was at work, he looked exceedingly delighted. It's like he was excited to have new experiences. Gee, I wonder why. Is it maybe because he's crazy? That could be. I have no idea, though. Alright, I've invented a team. It is not perfect by any means. As you can see. There is not a lot of generation for the stuff that Ryoshu needs. Which is why I should probably put her first now that I think about it. This is not going to be perfect, but this is actually a very solid team composition, so I'm not too concerned with it. We're doing 425, because that's a fun level, right? I want to see how this works. I have a feeling that it's better to just get your KCorp ampules as soon as possible. The issue is actually getting them, because, yeah. Alright. Let's see. That is not enough for this to activate. And enemies are not going to have that much Rupture at this point. That's unfortunate. Alright, yeah, let's just get my talismans. That's unfortunate. Onglu lost. This is the problem with tank identities. They typically have really hard time clashing because their offense level isn't good enough. This team could also use more gluttony, honestly. It is a Sunshower team, but it's not a good Sunshower team, all things considered. Like, I'll want to be inflicting a lot of Rupture. Like, inflicting you could build a very good Rupture team around this stuff, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that inflicts a ton of Rupture. Falling. That did a lot of damage. Okay. That's not bad. I could already Sunshower. Do I want to do it? Yeah, I think I want to do it. Use Sunshower. I'm going to have you use a defend this turn, because it's not going to activate anyways. Thankfully, Sunshower doesn't eat any of the stuff I need for Red Eyes. This is a 2-wave fight, so I might do another fight after this, actually, just to see one of the Red Eyes skills. Because this fight looks like it's ending very quickly. Thankfully, Sunshower has no overlap. One other thing that this Honglu ID does is it perfectly... Why are you using... Oh, I didn't use this defend. Oopsies. My bad. Oh! It'll inflict 5 talisman regardless of whether or not you have it. That seems like an oversight. That unironically makes the skill infinitely better. Okay, I just need 1 lust. And then I can use open. So let's do that. Yeah, you get your ampules. Why not, you know? That is so bizarre that you actually just get to spam talismans on the enemies, though. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. That's, like, really solid. God, Honglu tanked that, actually. He did really well there.
너, 마, 치.
God, these guys resist slash, and I'm tearing them apart. Good lord. Are they weak to pierce? Oh, yeah. Good god. Okay, that didn't inflict very much rupture count, but sure. Oh, wait, that's not enough for open? What am I missing for open? Is it another envy? I can get that. Ah, whatever, I'll just use this one. You know? I'm gonna have both of them equipped on her anyways, so it really doesn't matter in the long run. Alright, this one's Gluttony, so I could actually use it next turn, in theory. Oh well. And I've got 2 ampules. I mean, it's only plus 10% damage, but it's rupture count, right?
탐구는 끝났어.
And that's the important thing. Thank you, Moulinet. Also, anybody who sleeps on 7 Association Yisang has never used him. He's fantastic.
자, 맛볼 시간.
Oh, what the heck? There was no background change. That was interesting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do a second test fight just so I can see the other spider butt animation. I have... Why was I getting 2 talismans per hit there? Interesting. You couldn't have heads flipped. Dang it. Alright, so Sinclair took 10 damage because he ran out of talismans. And so far, that's the only damage he's taken. Okay. Cool. Who's all getting targeted? Oh, of course Ryoshu's getting targeted. I was gonna say, like, I could just do that. And you can do it once. And then I can do, like, this. Right? Yeah, because I only need the envy. Why am I not clashing? Oh, because the defenses are taking them, that's why.
직접 나서지.
I want to see the other spider butt attack. He's not even getting staggered either, that's great. Acceptable. Oh, he's many targeting you. That's damage. He didn't even get staggered from that, really? That's really good. What? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, now I need to actually use it, though, so, Now, this is an AoE, but obviously there's only one enemy left, so, whatever. Oops. You could also do this. Why not, right? They have the same speed. Yeah, maybe you don't do that. Why does Sinclair have 10 paralysis? Okay.
멈춰라.
항상 지켜보고 있었지.
Yeah, so it's called open because Ryoshu unsheaths her sword to use it, which she doesn't do with any other attack in the game so far. So yeah, these IDs seem pretty strong, actually. Like, I was worried that they weren't gonna be that good. Honestly. Oh, I never checked the sanity cost of Red Eyes Open. Oops. My bad. That's okay, I'll just check it after the fight ends. Yeah, they seem pretty strong. Even the Sinclair seems really good, honestly. Most of the damage he's going to be taking is damage from Talisman, so... Yeah, and knowing that you don't actually need to be at 5 Talisman to inflict the enemy with it is crazy.
이 정도면 조기 소진 걱정은 안 해도 되겠는걸.
The fact that it's non-conditional is stupid. I believe that that might be a bug, but I guess we'll find out if they ever fix it. Yeah, I only took damage that fight because I was actually trying to see animations. See how 7 Yi Sang just didn't take damage? He's such a good ID. Man. Alright, well, that was pretty... yeah, so new Sinclair seems mighty crazy. I don't know why this headset effect is here. It's not going to activate very often. Yeah, this is heavy Rupture support stuff that we've been getting recently, and I don't dislike that. You'll probably want to run this with LCCB Ishmael, and then 7 Otis, and I guess another... Is there even another good ID for Rupture, really? Because 7 Yi Sang inflicts Rupture, but not that much of it. This is a problem. He's a really good support, but he doesn't really fit. And the team is going to be generating stuff for Yi Sang's ego, mostly. But yeah, those all seem pretty good. I can imagine that they're going to be used quite a bit for a while. So, I don't really have anything else to say about this. This is just 2 very solid identities that have been introduced. The ego, I mean, one thing I can say, I guess, is that Red Eyes Open fits perfectly with the Shi Association team that I built for that guide. And I'll probably have to put a pinned comment for that, because that is very significant. Yeah, thank you for watching. I am in the process of making the next Limbus guide as we speak. I wanted to wait until the Honglu came out because I knew his colors, and I wanted to see if I'd put him in the team, and I don't think I will, but he's still really good. Like, you could just swap out 7 Ryoshu for him, and it'd be fine. I appreciate all of you. My IDs are open for you to use if you add me in the game. I'm getting pretty close to the friends limit, but don't worry about it. I'd appreciate if you liked and subscribed, because it helps me out. But I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you back here again sometime soon, because we don't know when the next actual Limbus content's going to be. I'm going to put out a Mirror Dungeon run. Yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I hope to see you all back here soon. Bye!